What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Overwatch and what is the first video in what I hope will be a pretty interesting series called Tales of an Overwatch Noob. Now, I did recently pick up Overwatch again when I got my gaming PC completed. I had originally played Overwatch back when they did the free weekend on PlayStation 4. I came away with liking a lot of things about the game, but at the same time being frustrated with a few things, and at the time it just didn't feel like a game I wanted to spend $60 on, especially since it was only mainly multiplayer and that there's no single player component to it. However, when I got my new gaming PC completed, there were a lot of really good deals on some games, and one of my friends had told me that the community around Overwatch was a lot better on PC and the game just played a lot better. You had more quality matches on the PC version, so it was a lot cheaper than the one on the PlayStation 4, so I decided to pick it up and give it a try again, and I have been having an absolute blast with the game so far. Now, there have been some growing pains here and there. It takes a little bit to get used to. And one thing I did notice is that it's really frustrating at first when you're first leveling up, because when you're in the quick play against other players, it seems like people are just in there screwing around, and no one really takes it seriously. No one plays the objective. Everybody just kind of tries to get kills and show off, and that leads to losing a lot of matches. And it can be very frustrating for a new player. And from what I've read so far, that's pretty much the case until you get into ranked play on either version of the game, whether it's console or PC, and then the quality of the game really picks up. So what I wanted to do with this series of videos was kind of help some newer players to Overwatch, since I'm a new player to Overwatch. I think I'm around level 15 right now. I've been playing just about every night and just love the gameplay. I love the characters. I love the lore surrounding Overwatch, and that's something I'm going to do another video on, is just how there's way too much lore in this game for it to just be a first-person shooter. I'll cover that in some other videos. But it's a great game. Plays very well. My gaming PC is awesome. It runs this thing so smooth on the ultra graphics and everything. It just looks great. It plays great. Very smooth. And one of the funny things I've noticed is since I've started playing Overwatch on the PC, I went back and tried to play Destiny the other night. And I had to like triple my sensitivity on the controller because it just felt so slow. It felt like I was aiming in mud. Like I just couldn't get the crosshair to go where I wanted it to, just because I've gotten used to playing with mouse and keyboard again so quickly. But that's for another time. So anyways, guys, this little video series is going to be, like I said, Tales of an Overwatch Noob. I'm going to be going over some things to hopefully help some newer players, maybe talk about some characters. This first video today is just going to mainly be about how you can kind of get started in Overwatch and have a better experience with the game. So without further ado, here's a couple things I think will help you guys get better at Overwatch. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do with Overwatch once you get through the basic tutorial is take advantage of the training room simulation. This is actually a great place to go through and learn how to use the different characters. You're just going to have these little AI bots wandering around. There's really no threat to yourself, and you have kind of a closed and calm environment where you can study each character, learn what their moves are, and just take some time to get used to using those moves. It also lets you become familiar with the basic jumping and movement and other things like that. So great thing here is just if you have a character that you're really interested in using, grab them, bring them into the training room, learn how to use their ultimate, learn how to use their different abilities, and just become familiar with those. And you can kind of do so at your own pace. And the nice thing is, if you want, you can just go back to the main room of the training room and easily switch characters. You can also check out everyone's abilities. It will tell you how to use all of them. You just press F1 if you're on the PC, and then on console, I believe you just press like the start button and it brings up a little screen telling you what all their abilities are and everything. So I've found this to be really helpful. Even as I'm playing the regular game, I'll sometimes grab a character and run into the training room and just kind of spend a few minutes getting to know them, getting to know their powers and whatnot. And it's very helpful, can make it so that you're prepared when you actually go into the real game and you know what you're doing. You know how to use the characters. And it's also helpful because eventually you're going to want to get to know how to use more than a handful of characters, because there are times when you're playing the actual game where the character you like might be taken already, or there might be too many of that type of hero already on the team. So you want to be familiar with a variety of people, variety of characters in the game. So first thing I would do after the tutorial, don't just rush right into the game. Go ahead and jump into the training mode and just learn how to use some of these characters. Alright, so once you've gone through and you've run through the tutorial and you've spent a little bit of time in practice mode and doing the training room, the next thing you want to do is go into the practice versus AI mode of Overwatch. Now, what this is going to do is this is going to put you into kind of a live, real game type situation. You're going to be able to play the different game modes, and you're going to be teamed up with 5 other human players, and you'll be fighting against AI-controlled opponents. The cool thing about this mode is you actually will earn experience and things, so you can level up your overall account while you play this, and it's a good way to familiarize yourself with the environment of Overwatch and use your characters in an actual real game setting versus the training room, which you don't really get to fight in normal combat and defend other people and play with other people. So this is a great tool. I play in this mode a lot, especially if I'm just starting out with a new character I've never used. It's a great way to familiarize yourself with how that character's abilities work in one of the normal maps of the game. And also the more valuable thing to me is this lets you kind of learn the maps that you'll be playing later on once you get into the actual game, and that can be just as valuable, especially if you're using some of the defense type heroes. Like if you're using Widowmaker, you can kind of find little sniper perches in the maps, and there's really not a whole lot of pressure in these AI play sessions, because quite honestly, the AI is kind of dumb, and it's really easy to win these scenarios. Now, don't get used to this, because when you do get into the actual game and start playing against human-controlled opponents, you're going to find it much more difficult, and you might get stomped the first few games, quite honestly, because the play versus AI mode is pretty easy, but it's a comfortable way for you to learn how to use the characters and how to play in a team setting. So I think it's a very valuable tool. I'm really glad they actually put this into the game, and of course you can level up while you do it and earn loot boxes and other things, so that's pretty cool too. So definitely take advantage of the play versus AI mode. Spend as much time in here as you want, because it is a great way to learn how to use all the characters and get more familiar with them, get familiar with the maps, and of course learn how to have some awareness and play within a team structure. So definitely use the practice versus AI mode, guys. You'll probably see an improvement in your overall gameplay the more time you spend in here. All right, guys. So once you've got enough practice playing around in the training room and also playing against the AI, you can go ahead and move on to start playing the actual player versus player aspects of Overwatch. You've got quick play. You're going to have ranked play, which won't be available to you right away. And then you also usually have like a PvE type event where you team up with a couple other players to take on an objective. Right now is Junkenstein's Revenge, which is kind of fun. You fight against a bunch of zombie robots and some of the characters in the game as enemies, and it's pretty cool. So definitely start exploring those aspects of the game once you feel like you have a pretty good grasp of several characters and just the general concepts of playing Overwatch. And if you're playing against the AI, you can actually up the difficulty to medium and hard if you go in to play the AI through the play the game screen, and that can also help you get used to the game as well. So once you start playing Overwatch against actual human competition and playing the actual game, one of the most important things is going to be awareness. You kind of want to just be aware of everything. First things first is check out your team makeup, see who's playing what character, and that should kind of have some kind of effect on you in terms of who you're going to play. For example, you don't want your team stacked with like 3 healers. You don't want like 4 of the same type of character. Now, I know some people will go out and play teams with like 6 Tracers and 6 Soldier 76s and things like that. And that's fine if that's a team that plays together and has practiced that kind of thing. But for the most part, you want to have a pretty balanced, well-rounded team, because this is a game that's not like most first-person shooters. You're not going to go 1-on-6 and kill everybody. It's not Call of Duty. It actually is very important to play well as a team and play within your team. For example, if you're like a defense character or even some of your offensive characters, you don't want to run up and go lone wolf against people, because you will die in like 3 seconds. You're not very durable. You have to be around some of your tanks and things to succeed. So definitely stay with your team, learn your role in the team, see what everyone else is playing, and try to pick a character that complements the team makeup, and just be aware of what's going on. For example, if you're in a quick play game and your team's getting absolutely smashed and it's because you don't have a certain type of character, switch out and try to play that character and see if you can fill that role. Quick play, I'll be honest with you guys, is going to be kind of frustrating, because when you first start playing, it's really difficult to get on a good team. A lot of people seem to just be kind of messing around and doing things, and it's a good chance for you to play multiple characters and learn multiple roles before you can get into rank play, which unlocks at rank 20 or at level 25, and it's going to take you a little while to get to level 25. I've been playing a couple hours a night for the past week or two, and I'm still just at like level 14, so it's taken me a while to get up there too. So I'm just trying to have fun with it and learn different characters as I'm going through and playing. Like I said, it's very important. Team role, that's going to be your number one thing here. Make sure you're playing, you know, if you're a healer, make sure you're healing. If you're a tank, make sure you're tanking. It kind of goes without saying, but it may take some people a while to get used to that because you're just so used to playing first-person shooter games like Call of Duty and maybe even Destiny's Crucible and things like that, where this is a completely different type of game. Like I said, so it's very important to learn multiple characters. There's a few characters I would try out if you're just coming into the game. Soldier 76 is usually who everyone suggests, and he's a pretty solid overall character. He's a good mid-range damage character. He's got a really nice healing boost he can use that can heal other people on the team as well. It's kind of an AoE heal. And then he's got his missiles that he shoots, which do pretty good damage. So overall, he's a pretty good player to help those who have played other first-person shooters kind of get used to Overwatch. If you're looking for a tank, Diva's pretty easy to play right off the bat. You know, defensive characters, I actually like Widowmaker. I think she's a little harder to play than some, but you know, I find her fairly easy to use. And if you want to try your hand at healing, I would definitely try to play Lucio. He is the one I've been using to heal, and it's pretty easy with him. It's kind of low maintenance. You just turn on his healing mode and try to stick close to your teammates while helping them get kills. So there's a couple of different characters you can try out right off the bat, and in some other videos I'm going to go into more detail on certain characters and try to give you guys some characters that you can play, go more in depth with some of them. But there's a huge cast of characters in Overwatch, and there's definitely going to be a character that will suit your play style and you'll enjoy playing. But as I said, at the same time, try out different characters and become well-rounded with who you're using, because that can make or break your team. And if you're in, like I said, if you're in the middle of a match and things aren't going your way, if you have that ability to change to another character and play another role very well, you can turn the tide, you can change things around and help your team win. And that'll become a little bit more important once you get into ranked play. But really the last thing I would say is, like I said, it can be a frustrating experience at first because quick play, like I said, can be a bit of a mess, but just try to have fun. Overwatch is I'm having a lot of fun with the game now. I found it's a really fun game. There's so much little interesting tidbits in the stages and the maps and the character interactions. Like, it's just a very immersive first-person shooter. I'm really still shocked that this game is a first-person shooter and that they couldn't have done more with it. And I'm going to be doing a video on that a little bit later because I've been really delving into the lore behind all the characters and things in Overwatch. And it's really quite amazing how much is out there. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are a new Overwatch player, hopefully I'll be able to help you out a little bit. If you're a veteran Overwatch player, feel free to leave some tips and tricks and things down below for some people who just might be starting out with the game. And I hope this game lasts quite a while and becomes a pretty decent franchise, because it's actually sort of brought me back into first-person shooter. I've been looking for a first-person shooter to play for a long time. I just got so burned out on Call of Duty, and you know, the Crucible and Destiny was an absolute mess. So just was looking for a fun PvP game to play again, and Overwatch has kind of become that, despite having some initial misgivings with the game. I'm now really enjoying it, and I think a lot of that has to do with, you know, being on the PC with the PC community. But no knock against consoles. I just, you know, when I tried the game on console, I didn't really care for it. Plus the $60 price tag didn't really help much either. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you again next time.